What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete strategy. I am Pete. I am a top player in the game of Risk Global Domination. I have a daily release on YouTube. I have a week daily schedule on Twitch for the winter. If you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and come along the ride with me. What we are doing today is we are playing a pre-recorded game, me playing Progressive Capitals on Europe Advanced. But we will have the opportunity to go through the weekly wrap-up. This will be for the second week of December 2022 State of the Game, as well as hopefully we get to some of the Kill Pete Discord Q&A questions. So the first thing I want to talk about for the weekly wrap-up is we had update 3.9. So let's get some update notes, and I will be a risk drama. Yeah, I will be able to go over some of that. Now, where are the update notes? I figure there's an announcement in the forum. Let me find it for you. I probably should. What I should do when I make these shows is I should set up the everything I want to talk about. Update 3.9. Okay. So what can I tell you guys? Attention risk generals. Major risk update. This is our final update for 2022. It's been a big year for Risk. We're excited to send it off the brand new map pack and community requested updates before the holidays. So important to remember in the map pack, there's 4 new maps. Where did that go? 4 new maps, computer themed. We got a motherboard, we got a graphics card, we got a cell phone, and so on. We're waiting for this former Caps game to fill. I like the new maps. I've only played through 2 of them. Ranked 1v1 changes, but I'm going to do a promo for all of these maps as they come out this week. Ranked 1v1 changes. We heard your feedback on the 3.8 update and the new 1v1 ranked mode. So, really vocal, whiny 1v1 players said, hey, can I please play with bots? My position on the whole thing with the 1v1s is you can worry about them till the cows come home, but the fact of the matter is less than 10% of the audience plays them. So I think there's less than 100 currently 1v1 GMs, which tells you all you need to know about the size of the population. So any amount of time and energy dedicated towards 1v1s is time and energy that cannot be dedicated towards the actual game of Risk that people play. So this hopefully is the last in catering to a niche within a niche, essentially. Very small community of players who play 1v1s. All right. But now you can use maps. So we got the Resistor is futile map pack. I love it. I'm a Star Trek geek, so Resistor is futile. We got the 1v1 update changes. We have semi-automatic placement. So this is another thing that's important to keep in mind. It used to just be auto and manual. Now we have semi-auto. So semi-auto placement means that you can start a game with an automatic placement, but then you put your troops on manually. So that's how we used to play Progressive on the tabletop. How I still play Progressive when I play on the tabletop. So semi-auto is a great addition and near and dear to my heart. Other extras, we've taken a look at our fantastic suggestions from the community and added a few improvements. The old Peteman got his wish. The Shikoku bonus on the Japan map, which was a 3 territory +6 with 2 entries, is now a +4, which is still strong, but not game breaking. That map, I will foresee that map will be used a lot more now, and it will be something that it's just really, really nice and important. I'm going to linger on this because I think I posted in Risk Ideas in October 2021, so more than a year ago. You guys can scroll up, and I think it was somewhere in the 70s in terms of upvotes. And I was like, you know, I used the platforms that I have access to. It's like, hey guys, upvote this if you want to upvote this. You want to see this Japan map changed. I think I have a video from March of that year. So right back at the beginning when I was playing, about how that Shikaku bonus was ridiculous. And it's just nice. Again, I don't think anyone needs to listen to me. I don't actually care about my own opinion all that much. I'm often wrong and I'm kind of an idiot sometimes, but my opinion is we should care about what everyone does and what everyone likes. So if something is heavily upvoted, then it's really nice to see the devs listen to us. You know, I don't want to be negative. I want to be extremely, extremely positive about this, and also grateful. Thank you, SMG, for listening to us. We really, really value and appreciate that. We love this game. We love this game that you have created for us, and the fact that we are so passionate about it says that we love it. Now, Pete's really pissed off there. He doesn't want. I don't think he wants Blue to put a cap or to put territories in this bonus I'm trying to take. But you look at the start I have here, right? We got a 5 cap in Morocco. We have an unguarded border here, but it's just too bad. Someone wants to be up in my business, and we'll see how this cookie crumbles. Okay. Chad Carter says, SMG listened to my suggestion and people cannot join friends lobbies anymore. I'm pretty happy with that. Yes, very happy with that. And that actually segues nicely into something else I wanted to bring up. So I have gotten this. And if any of you guys have gotten this error message, check it out. Error 1750. The game was canceled due to there being a suspected colluder in the game. Error 1750. So 1750 is not something I've gotten before, but this was in the lobby, so the game actually didn't fire. So there's a lot of conversation about collusion at the moment. And I'm really gratified to see games not firing rather than players getting teamed on and getting upset and be like, why won't they do anything about this? They're doing something about this. At least something. Obviously, could always be more, and that is the thing, right? Do we want to punish or reward the good behavior, right? I think we should be grateful for all of the good that we have, and we are seeing progress, and that is fantastic, if you ask me. All right, what else did I want to talk about? We have the new update, we have the 1v1, we have the issues with Collusion. The ranking system is still such that World Dom will get you into the top 500. Zombies can probably get you top 50, but not much more than that. And the only way to be at the top of the leaderboard is by playing capitals. I would like to see the game not be capitals global domination, but actually risk global domination at some point. We have seen improvements. We would like to see more, but we are on the right track, and that is a good thing. Okay, currently wrapped up week 3 of the Chaos Tournament. I think we're in the semis of Legends, so I think we've made it. We have our finalists for Risk Legends, and I think we have our finalists for the 1v1 tournament as well. I'm going to try and bring those up if I can find it. Let me see if there is a spreadsheet for Risk Legends. It would be located in tourney announcements, I'm guessing. Well played to our finalists: Kilted, Under the Gun, EG Sneaks, Cosmic Cowboy, Marin Brandbat, and One Shot. How awesome is that, guys? Congratulations to all 6 of these guys, top Risk players without a doubt. Oh, okay. So this I gotta stop here. I gotta show you guys something absolutely wild. So, if we go, you could hear me react too. Okay, so just to put a pin in it, we see the blue player in this game come at my capital with a 6 stack. What are the odds of 6v6 capital? Almost 0, right? But look at his dice. He pulls the dice down to 2 manual, so he's rolling 2v3 on my cap. And wins. What are the odds of that? Now, if you guys have any idea why the title is how to recover from losing your cap. Check this shit out. He does it again and wins again. What the hell? You can hear me audibly react. Like, what the hell? The odds of this are something around 1%, and then blitzes my cap. And wow, I know, but it gets better. This game is ridiculous. So that's why I'm glad. I just started. I'm recording all my games now. I'm like, holy shit! You hear me just like, how is this happening to me right now? This is on the second turn, by the way. Okay, so how does the old Peteman get out of this one? Oh, you just wait and see. So let's bring up the Legends spreadsheet. I want to give them their due. We have Kilted at 110 points, Under the Gun at 98, EG Sneaks at 96, Marin Bram at 95, Cosmic Cowboy at 93, and One Shot making it to 86. Congratulations for all of you guys to making the finals of Legends. The settings for the finals are Britannia Advanced, World Domination, Auto Setup, Progressive Cards, Expert, 60-second turn timer with no fog, no blizzards, no portals, alliances are on, and automated bot behavior. Good luck, folks. I hope you guys nail it in the finals of Risk Legends and get that big money prizes. So, how is Kilted so good consistently? Ask him. Maybe he'll tell you. Gucci Bandana says, I've watched a bunch of your videos. I still don't really understand the game, but there's something about you that keeps me coming back. Hey, thanks, man. What a nice thing to say. I will take it. I'll take the comment. I appreciate it. I am happy to continue to do this work for all of you guys. If it is of value to you in some way, if it's entertaining, if you learn something either or even maybe both, I take the compliment for what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Truly. It's the beard, it might be. I grew it myself. Okay. And yeah, we're also in the 1v1 tournament. So on the main Risk server, I think the 1v1 tournament is also wrapping up. I think we're in the finals of that one as well. Let me shout it out too. So anyone asking me, hey, Pete, when are you, can I sign up for tournaments? How do I sign up for tournaments? I will do a promo for tournaments. I think a weekly show is a great way to do shorter term interviews, like not a podcast, to do promotional stuff, and to just answer questions. So that's what I'm thinking this show will evolve into as I keep doing it. I like the idea of doing a podcast weekly, but the audience doesn't just seem to be there for it. So in lieu of that, how do I find the announcements? So bad at Discord. Event announcement. And we'll bring up the spreadsheet for the 1v1 tournament. Welcome to the finals. It will be caps, Dino World caps, stable portals. What do you know? 1v1 tournament. We have Dino World and Simple World. And the standings, congratulations to our 4 finalists. All Under the Gun is in the top seat. Elo 2032. You should also ask why Under the Gun is so good. Maybe he'll tell you. All of XC in second place in Elo 1989, followed by General Bale 8235 at 1949, and Frail Waif, no slouch himself, at 1900 Elo. Good luck, folks. I hope you all have solid last round of the 1v1 tournament. Okay. I think that is it for your weekly wrap up. We're going to move on to the Kill Pete Strategy Discord Q&A portion of the show. Let's find out where we left off, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to ask me questions, you can do it on my YouTube comments. You can do it live on Twitch. But the best way and the way you ensure you get an answers, come on down to my Discord and ask in the Q&A thread. So we have priority Q&A questions that go first. I'm trying to figure out how far back we have to go. I didn't ping this one. if I answered it before, I can answer it again. Bagel would like to know, if you could go back in time to your first game of Risk, what advice would you give yourself? Watch your buddies moving the pieces when you're not looking. That's the advice. People will, and do cheat in games because they're shitty people. And you, listening to me right now, know which one of those you are, whether or not you do it, whether or not you have done it and won't do it again, or whether or not you will. You know who you are. So. Bricks 1611. Hi, Pete. I'm 17 years old. Also do landscaping. I've been since I was 12. Oh, you've been landscaping since you were 12. Since you were 12. Awesome. You've inspired me to make my life better, and I've been working out. My mental health is better. Thank you. You are a big help. I've been playing Risk, an intermediate player, for 2 months. Thank you for watching the show. I love it that I am able to be a positive influence on other people. I can't say this enough to you guys. The way I think about it is, if my suffering, I've had some dark days, like all of you, and if my suffering is able to be a benefit to others, then in some way it is not lost, right? It is at least worth something. Phil says, am I a shitty person if I cheat to fuck with my wife, but let my kids win? Don't let your kids win. I don't presume to judge you for being a good or a shitty person, but I wouldn't let my kids win. I mean, maybe you got to keep it fun. All right. Hold on. We're switching back to the game. Pete is rolling an 11v8 cap. He's like, give me my luck back, right? No. 11v8 doesn't win, nor should 6v6, but here we are. So I lose all my troops. I lose all my troops because I'm an angry, angry man. And now what? Now what do we have? Well, now we're in a real bad situation, aren't we? Okay. Captain Tony would like to know, what is the moment in your life you reflect back on as your biggest left or right decision? Example, getting a license at 16 instead of 17 or 18, or dating the wrong person, performing a job, task, or duty you would otherwise be better off without. For me, it's between getting my license at 17 instead of 16, or working the oil field for 2 years at 18 and saving none of it. Yeah, those guys work real hard. And they make a lot and they party hard, don't they? Oh, he had a set on 3-2. It's all the luck in this game. This is a very lucky start for this game. So by the end of my third turn, I'm now sitting at 6 troops in 4 positions. Now, how is the old Peteman gonna get out of this one? Look at this game. This is such a ridiculous game. I'm really glad I captured it. And you recovered from this. I'm not going to spoil anything. Maybe I just die. The video is 17 minutes of a remaining 30. I don't die right away, I'll tell you that. So my biggest left or right decision, there's a few. Do them chronologically, I suppose. I decided to go to university in Toronto so I could live at home. The upside of that was it was cheaper, so I didn't go into debt. The downside of that was I didn't really get that sort of party social experience. So my financial well-being was a benefit, but my social well-being was not. So there's trade-offs in life, right? You go down one path, you go down another. It all depends on your decision-making at the time. Why did I decide not to go away to school? Well, I just felt that I wanted to live. I didn't want to live with a roommate, if you can believe it. And I still don't really like the idea of living with a roommate. Thankfully, I've never had to. I only moved once from the house I lived in with my parents to the house I currently live in. My life has been extremely safe and stable. Another left or right decision point would be when my buddy Jeff said to me, hey, Pete, we should start a landscaping business in my garage while we were smoking weed. And I was just like, well, this guy doesn't need a job, doesn't have a job, so maybe I'll help him out. We worked together for 2 years as partners, and that was a very valuable lesson for me. I love this man. He's one of my very best friends to this day. But as I'm not temperamentally adjusted to living with a roommate, I am not temperamentally adjusted to being in a business partnership. I need to be the boss. I'm a big baby and I like to get my way, but it is what it is. And the third one I would say would be I ran for government in 2008 for town council, now city council, in the city of Markham, where I grew up. And losing that election was probably for the best for me because it seems like elected representatives are the complaint department. And you get paid, though. It's great to have a 6-figure salary that you can't lose for 4 years. That seems really sweet. But losing the election when I did, I got on a path to, well, I met my ex-wife and then I moved and, and for better or worse, buying this home was the single greatest financial decision I've ever made, including working. And let's move on to another question Bagel would like to know, and this segues nicely. No need to answer if it's too personal / you don't want to. In your latest video, No One to Walk Away, No One to One, you mentioned your ex-wife. How has your view on marriage changed since the divorce? Okay. It hasn't actually changed a lot. I always thought of marriage as kind of an archaic, unnecessary imposition. There's a lot more upside for a woman, I think, than for a man in most ways. And the irony of that is demographic statistics show that married men do live longer. So, I mean, I suppose a lot of that comes down to individual relationships. But in terms of having the government involved in my personal business, I think that is a really, really stupid thing. And we should keep it absolutely as minimum as possible because the government is consistently terrible at their jobs. And we shouldn't be remotely surprised that they are. Because we created that. We chose people without a bona fide criteria for governance. Okay, so I lose a position. I'm now in 3 places essentially. So my view on marriage before was something like a bit overly romanticized. My folks are still together, so I have that image in my head, and it makes sense for them because they have a family. I think the function of marriage today, having the legal responsibility of both partners obligated to each other forever, is a good thing in the context of, I lose that position. Hey, we're down to 5 troops. Hey, we're down to 5 troops. Looks good, right? How the fuck do I not die? Hey, we're down to 3 troops. Do you see this, guys? This is unreal, this game. I'm just like, I'm totally dead. I'm totally dead, right? All blue has to do is just run up me. But I am next to act. What is wrong with this picture? A lot. A lot. I'm totally about to die. I think about if I ever get divorced, I'll probably never date seriously again. No. Okay. So look, here's the thing. All of your human relationships end. Nothing is forever. Now, they might end at the end of life for one or the other of the partners, which is the romantic ideal, right? I love you so much and I love you forever and I want to be with you forever. But realistically, all human relationships you have ever been in and will ever be in will end. So if we are to be pragmatic about that, we should create circumstances where that end is as painless as possible. And I gotta say, I do love my ex-wife. I think she's a wonderful person. And I'm grateful that it is ending this way because I do not hate. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm not jaded against future relationships. I can definitely love again. Would I seek that kind of legal partnership with a romantic interest? That is the funny question, right? Okay. That's about as much as I'd like to say about divorce. Hunter4525 would like to know, watching today's video and you mentioned Karn isn't your best deck, but Crom Timna is your favorite deck. Care to elaborate on the difference? This is a Magic the Gathering question, so a bit inside baseball for most of the audience. I can answer it quickly. So there is a type of commander called EDH, Elder Dragon Highlander, where you have a card, and that card's color identity determines the color identity of the other cards in your deck. Karn is colorless, so the challenge I put upon myself is how do you make the strongest deck possible with the smallest card pool? So Karn is my best deck because it is the most challenging way to min-max a really good deck in colorless, right? You're using the fewest possible cards. Kraben Timna is my attempt to make a 4-color deck without green, which is the color that fixes the other colors. So it's blue, black, white, and red. And it's my favorite deck because it attacks players on an axis they can't really predict or adapt to. Or let's say, even if they could predict it, they couldn't adapt to it, right? What are you going to do? Pressure my life total? Well, maybe I'll switch my life total with yours. What are you going to do? You're going to, hit me with damage. I'll go back up to 40, or I'll kill you, right? It's kind of like a judo deck. That's how I think about it. Judo or Aikido. You use your enemy's resources against them at the right moment with a little bit of finesse. Okay. Also, I can link to all of my decks, Hunter, if you want to ping me or something, and then I can link. I have a bunch of my commander decks online, so if people are curious about the lists, I can post it somewhere. Truth Powers would like to know, what's the biggest lesson you learned on success on YouTube over the few years you have been at it? Success equals what, 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration? I'm butchering the quote, but it's something like that. For me, the word is loaded. I came to a realization that success was whatever I define it to be, and which is an extremely empowering way to think about it. Like, I choose to measure success the way I choose to measure success. So I have a target, and I walk the path to that target, and my happiness emerges from the seeking of the goals rather than the attainment. Yeah, Snuggleona, set a goal, meet the goal, success. Yes, exactly. But you need big picture goals, and you need small pictures. Oh, look at that. The old Peteman made a kill. Did I know that that's where all the green was? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are we back in this game, baby? Are we back in this game? No way. Oh, baby. So you just watch your opponents, and if they're greedy and they take space, you can see where they are, and you can see who's where. You can see when they're bots, and you can know what bots do. And now I'm just like, take the pressure off of red in the top. If red wants to hit me, they can break me, because I'm still super fucking fragile. So what lesson have I learned on YouTube? Well, the way I put it is I found my voice. So I always thought I would be a writer. I always thought that would be the way I would convey myself, because I'm fairly well spoken. I love language. I use reasonably big words not to come off as arrogant or ostentatious, or to impress you, but more to dial in a very specific meaning. But it turns out that video work is a lot easier for me to do than writing, because I actually do it. So setting out on a goal of, I'm going to make a Risk video every day. Just make one every day. That's it. 2 fucking years later, it worked. Now, it worked in a way that I wouldn't have imagined as far as success. I never started this project with the idea that it would be successful in the goal of I would be able to make a living off of making video on the internet. That was never something I would have even fathomed, because you guys got to remember, I'm almost 40, and I don't come from a time where people making video game television on the internet was a job, right? I would have looked at that and my parents would have looked like that as like the biggest fucking joke they've ever heard. And they still kind of do. But I'm moving on into a way of kind of understanding it that I realize, yeah, I am successful and that's such a blessing and it's such a miracle. And part of it is, yeah, just showing up. Figure out something you love to do and give. And then when an artistic creation is well received, I can give infinitely, right? I can just give and give and give. Because it doesn't feel like work for me. And you guys are just like, hey, Pete, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. I'm just like, well, thanks, man. I guess I will. Still have an exterior position in France for some reason. That should probably get removed. You guys shouldn't be letting me see what's over there. And I hold Russian, I don't defend white. I'm really trying my best not to piss anyone off. I'm just trying to watch for kills now. That's what I'm paying attention to. Biggest lesson you learned on success. Get out of your own way. I spent much of my life afraid. And afraid to give of myself, right? Afraid to be the fullest Pete I could be and to shine as brightly as I can. And the fact that you guys resonate with that, well, why wouldn't I want to give that all the time? It's the easiest thing in the world, right? To just be you. And you might be surprised to realize that people like you. Platon says, when create a movie about your mom? No, Platon, your mom. Got him. All right. Moving on to the regular Q&A. The priority Q&A thread is for boosters of the server. We do appreciate the support, guys. Thank you for boosting the Killbeat server. And moving on to the regular Q&A questions now. I'm just going to get a refill on my cup of coffee and I will be right back. Feel bad for this toboggan fellow. So now I can tell by the emoting that white is attacking blue. Favorite sport? 0. If I never speak about sport again, it would be too soon. All right. Word would like to know, Pete, do you believe that the UFO videos released by the Pentagon are proof of extraterrestrial life? Why would the Pentagon release UFO videos? If you could link me, Word, I would love to watch them. Probably not. We've talked about aliens before. I really think that if aliens did exist, they wouldn't have much interest in us, likely. Who am I trying? Am I trying to kill someone right now? I'm just trying to take a look. Oh, I'm trying to get my revenge on Blue. Nice. I find Blue's original cap. That's what it was, a revenge play. It wasn't a kill play. It was a revenge play. I was like, I'm going to fucking get this guy. I'm going to make this guy lose. He wants to roll a 6v6 cap roll on the second turn. I'm going to kill you. That's 100% Pete just being angry. Yeah, and Blue's like, oh, shit. Yeah, aliens, I think there probably are aliens, and I think they probably don't care about us, and they're likely too far away. They're not interacting with us, most likely. As anything other than zoological specimen would be my guess. PJ West would like to know, what is the first sign that you need to run from a female? Oh no, and not pursue a relationship with her. Or maybe it would be better to say, what question can you ask that would be a red flag? For example, asking what man they respect most in their life and then saying, nobody. Oh man, what is the biggest red flag? There's a lot though. Like, why do you assume that you're so legit? Like, a lot of human relationships have as much to say about you as they do about her. What do you want? Do you know what you want? Maybe you think you know what you want, but you don't actually know. And maybe part of the beauty of relationships is discovering that. I think we are beautiful for our flaws. And I think relationships are beautiful in that way. I don't know if you guys have heard about the crazy hot matrix, but there's also that. I could probably pull up a YouTube video. Seven minutes long. All right, look up the crazy hot matrix on YouTube, and that will get you started on understanding the litany of female red flags. But the aneurysm says the hot matrix is 100% true. You know what I'm talking about. But just bear in mind, PJ, that you have as much bearing on the outcome. And I'm still connected too. I pulled my stack all the way. I just got so dumb lucky this game. I pull my stack all the way off to the side. I can't believe they're letting me hold this and build back up. It's amazing. I get a cap now. I have a shitty cap. Now I'm laughing now. He's like, he's going to get me. He feeds me his own kill. He cap hits me and feeds me his own kill. Can you fucking believe? I should probably give you a few red flags. Lying. Obviously. This is the number one thing if you want a relationship with another human. I'm not just talking about a romantic relationship. Any relationship. Lying. Just don't lie. It's bad for you too, because then you're a liar. People don't realize that they are punishing themselves with lies. That would be the first red flag. But then we also lie to ourselves, right? You got to be sexually compatible. I think a lot of people is like, well, this person's good on paper, but you don't feel the fire. That's a big one for me. I like kindness. I find kindness to be very attractive. So those would be the two biggest ones for me. Anyone who's mean or anyone who lies, that would be an instant, like, no, not into you. There you go. There's a couple answers for you, PJ, but there's a lot, right? Maybe the little crazy eye. Sometimes the sex is too good with the crazy ones. But you know what? It can also be too good with someone you love. And I get my revenge. I get my revenge on this motherfucker. He goes out 5th. Can you believe that he goes out 5th after I was down to 3 troops? Oh my God. I can't. And now you guys can probably assume where the rest of this game is going to go. From this position, it's starting to look real good for the Peatman. Sorry, he goes out 4th. I'm in a equal 3-player endgame. Maybe not totally equal, but I think I just need one of these guys to hit the other guy, right? And then we pay that off. Okay, Lily would like to know, do you think there's a potential for an open source Risk-like game that fixed the many issues people have with the game? Speed, handicaps, the ranking system, random bugs that seem to take forever to fix, like the Canada Advanced Sea Lanes, etc. Obviously, copyright means an exact clone isn't possible, but a similar game with no mention of the word risk might be. A reference of a similar thing might be the game Tetra.io. It's basically Tetris, but with no mention of the word, calling a 4-liner quad rather than Tetris to avoid using the word. The gameplay is basically Tetris with some balanced quality of life changes, and the game has thousands of players. Do you think a similar thing for Risk is possible? Yes. I don't think it would necessarily be all that important. Is Red a bot? If Red's a bot, I'm in a 1v1. This is what Pete is thinking. So if Red's a bot, yeah. Okay. I think the current issue facing Risk proper is that there isn't enough money in the system to justify putting real dollars into it, right? And I think with a 70-year-old IP, you could have like Hasbro holds the license to this game, but having it be Risk proper is value. I think designing a Risk game where we use the name isn't all that far off, given the right size of the audience, right? There's a few simple things that SMG could do, I think, that would keep a much larger audience. Now, as far as how to generate dollars, that's a little bit trickier. I think the road that they've gone down is not the correct way to do it. But to just have the game be accessible, the game to be marketed as the 20-minute Risk game, right? A lot of what people think about Risk that they know and love is it taking forever. And that's just not the way it is anymore, right? No. There's a marketing problem. There's a funding problem. And I think Hasbro has pretty deep pockets, and they could absolutely make a branded Risk game using this as a great starting point. Or just giving SMG money to do it. Either way. But the focusing on cosmetics is really dumb. We need more modes, and we need to invest in the community, right? Putting time and energy and dollars into this great community that we've built, and the competitive scene, that's the answer. Content creators making content, helping advertise your game for free only goes so far if there's no backup. And it's nice to see changes occurring. Now we're starting to see a little backup. And look at that. Red not having a set on 4. I get 5 cards. Easy kill. White didn't push their advantage enough. They try and they accidentally end up feeding me the red kill. Not unlike Pete, my main thing is kindness, willing to talk calmly about anything. My hardest hurdle is finding those things combined with similar interests. You don't necessarily need a partner with similar interests, unless your vision of a partner requires someone to do things with you all the time. I'm a bit of a loner type person in terms of my interests. I like to spend a lot of time alone, but it's also nice to know that there's someone who loves you and cares about you. And you can have sort of a committed partnership with. But since I'm a single man, I get to discover that again. Mental telepathy is fun, yes. Saying things without saying them. That's how you know, right? When you just click with someone and they're just in your head. Look at this. Look at this setup. I'm now second. I've now made it to at least second place in this game, and I hold the entire map. Guys, what are the odds that the Peatman wins? Starting to look pretty good, isn't it? The wife wanted to be with me 24/7. I'd cry. Yeah, some people like their me time. Different relationships work out differently for other people, right? It's just great to... It's great to see what works for other people. This is a great video. Thank you, noob. I'm definitely glad I recorded this way. I was down to fucking 3 troops, huh? Can you imagine? He hits me, but he doesn't hit me hard enough because I hold the whole board. So we grind this out pretty quick now. Cannot believe it. Their diplomat would like to know, hey, Pete, philosophical question. Should we always say the truth? In which scenario is a lie justified? This is more of a semantic question than anything else. So it really depends on what you mean by lie. So short answer, yes, I think we should always tell the truth. But there's more to it than that. Because certain times it is just more efficient to not engage with things. You're not obligated to respond in any way. So sometimes I easiest way to put it is a live omission is not the same thing. But yeah, it's a great philosophical question. I think in general, we should always tell the truth to ourselves and act in alignment with what we believe to be true, and then also be open to the possibility that we've been fooling ourselves the whole time, and or new information can update your best fit model of reality into something. I can't believe I won this game. Like, I'm just sitting there just giggling to myself. Like, I was at 3 troops, guys. Did I pay my opponents? Yeah, this game's snow. Poor Toboggan. I know. Poor Toboggan. Well, that's GG. That is a GG, ladies and gentlemen. What do we got left in this video? You can probably bring up another one if you want to do more Q&A. This one might be a bit long. I have one that's short. Yeah, now he fully bought it. Okay. I'm going to just refill my coffee, and I will be right back. Well, we did it, ladies and gentlemen. Somehow, we won that game. Perhaps undeserved? All right. What is the next one? We have a 30-minute Caps game. All right, moving on to the next question. Cypix would like to know, hey, Pete, what do you use to make thumbnails? They always look good. I use Kali's services. So shout out to Kali, Afotika. She has her own Patreon. She has her own Discord server. Kali has staff on the Mainrist Discord. Excellent artist. Big fan of her work. Grateful for her help with the thumbnails. Short answer, yeah. I have no artistic ability in that regard, so thanks to Kali. And it so far has been very helpful. Just adding a little bit of the professionalism to the show, making it look better. All right, the title of this game is called... Oh, it's not there? How to Steal Kills. I wonder what happens. He's been playing a lot of Cast recently. Dude, there's the only way to fucking rank up, right? What, I want to sit on a fucking leaderboard? Like, if the leaderboard is, if these are the viable settings, then I'm going to learn how to do it. Do I like poker? Sure. Poker is fine. What are these Orient blizzards? I know. It puts me right into a corner, eh? Surely there would be no way I cap on that too, right? Stick myself in a corner. Okay, Word would like to know. Word up. Yo, Pete, how long have you been lifting and what are your 1 rep max for the big 3? I kind of cycle. So I've been lifting on and off since I was like 19, 20. But I have a physical job in the summer, so I spend a lot of energy doing a lot of cardio in the summertime, and then the wintertime I switch back to lifting a bit heavier and eating a bit more, and kind of punchy. But because I'm not outside now, not being outside next summer, if my lifestyle changes, I don't know what I'm going to do for cardio. But I never really focused on strength and size. I'm kind of like, so I'm 6 feet, I'm just over 200 pounds. And I know that as I'm getting older, function is going to be the most important thing. So I'm really careful not to lift too heavy. I've got some kind of like slight scoliosis in my back. So I'm very careful not to injure my spine. And just do things that white steals reds cap turn 1. And just do things that help me lead the highest quality of life possible. That's the thing. Kazam says, for me, his best video is one of his first videos where I played classic progressive on the world map. 3 players left. Pete was locked in Australia. One guy was sitting in Indonesia and Siam and the rest of the world. He fucked up and gave the kills. And I slow rolled him, got the cards for the win. Throwback. Real men do a rank of series with all true random games. Yes, I'm not a real man escape, but we know who is. Mr. Escape the 4Z himself. He just has to move his cardio routine to the bedroom. Oh my goodness gracious me. I guess I do. Okay. But yeah, I mean, what I need to be doing right now is I need to wake up, meditate, lift some fucking weights, as opposed to checking my phone. It's like, oh, we got a million YouTube comments. Like, oh, and these 17 people want to talk to me. It's like, it's very distracting, and I need to protect myself from the inevitable getting sucked in to some conversation or another. Not that I don't, because I love it, right? That's why I want to connect with you guys. But at some point, I have to wall myself off from that a bit just so I can stay on track, get my shit done, and take care of myself too, right? Like, I need to take care of myself physically. Seems like an apropos time to do some push-ups. Yes. Cornelius. Perfect timing, sir. Uh-oh. I feel bad for General Huge this game. Oh, that's who I feel bad for. There's a girl who sleeps on stream and has 14K views. Can you believe it? I mean, people will watch anything, right? Even this shit, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Mad would like to know, hey, Pete, are you watching the World Cup? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the event this year. No, I couldn't be less interested. So the World Cup and the Olympics exemplify two things that I find very obviously surprising about our society. The relentless desire to belong to a subgroup of humanity, which is divisive, also known as patriotism. So let's fly our flags and be proud of our nation, and then build guns to kill them, the evil infidels, and also organize sports, which strikes me as watching apes move objects from one location to another. And that's not to say there isn't some strategic value to sports. They are strategically complex. But I think the extent to which our culture pays attention to sport and nationalism, I would juxtapose it with something like, if scientific achievements were treated as sports achievements, right? If there was a World Series of cancer research, or a World Cup, humanity would be further along in our technical skill. And then philosophical achievements as well. If there was a World Series of kindness, right? Or wisdom. There you go. That's my answer. That you probably didn't like and didn't want, Mad, is that I certainly don't win friends with these answers, but that's basically how I feel about it. It's that we waste a ton of time on things that don't matter, and things that divide us into these false groups, which has a very dangerous long-term ultimate. It's a slippery slope was the word I was looking for. Long-term consequences. Will you be adding bikini squats to your channel's expanding profile? No, not bikini, tanga, right? But the banana hammock, I think is what it's called. Escape says, everyone has their opinions, Pete. And while you and I would disagree on that, ultimately I respect you. No, thanks, Escape. I know. And you're not alone, buddy. You're the majority. I'm the weirdo here. I get it, right? My take on the Olympics and on organized sports and on the World Cup and all of that has always met with nothing but confusion from people. Like, what is this idiot talking about? Here we are. That's what the Nobel Prizes were supposed to be, right? Sports is fun and entertaining, and science and politics are seen as boring to the majority. Yes, it is definitely a messaging problem. We pay athletes millions and call them heroes. And research scientists do not get the same recognition, do they? We can go on and on about that. Okay. Andy would like to know, do you find that a multiple location strat for progressive has a pitfall when facing good opponents? I find that in a lobby where the game equalizes early and opponents are good, an opponent with one big stack will wipe out one of my medium stacks to create a fish, or is that just poor placement? I mean, the big stack strat is a strat. The big stack strat is a expert to master level strat. But ultimately, the grandmaster level is playing the game you're playing. So if you go into a game, I'll give you a great example. So I have a preferred positioning theory for classic progressive. I say, all things being equal, I want to be in Madagascar, Japan, and Central Canada, right? But that's all things being equal. The troops on the board, right? Boots on the ground as it is, changes the game up completely. So you see how in this moment, I was trying to kill guard magenta. But as soon as I see how strong they are, I go, it's better to have them not be behind me than they backdoor me and take my cap. So I gave up a kill guard at this point in the game to hopefully ensure that magenta goes other places, right? I don't want the strongest player trading behind me. It's too early for that. This is a great example to bring up in reference to Andy's comment. So I started with a plan. My plan was I'm going to kill guard magenta behind me. I had to pivot once I saw how strong magenta was getting, because it's just as likely that they have the tip of Orient and then they want to backdoor me and then I lose my capital and probably the game. So it really depends where you are. Enel Catfish. Would you blame the athletes though? Certainly not. There's a huge market for them and people playing. Yes, certainly not. Our culture is broken. I do not blame anyone for doing what makes sense for them to make a buck or to find enjoyment in their life. Our culture is horribly broken. So the people who are controlling messaging and controlling culture are the ones that we would want to direct to. And this is why I am making a show where I get to talk about this shit. I love talking about this shit, in case you can't tell, right? The message I'm trying to put out is unity and love. Every single gun you build to kill other humans is pointed at you, because we are all one. The amount of money we spend on organized sports should come after every single human being in the world is clothed and fed. Come on, right? Otherwise, you fly your flag and you are very proud of your beautiful nation at the fuck you starve games. Okay. Raytheon would like to know, hey Pete, loving your content. Are you happy to share your camera and software you use to stream with? You've inspired me to get into the Risk streaming game. I just have a regular webcam, Logitech something or other, and I use Streamlabs OBS. As far as actual specs, that is a Drew question. I do not know what the fuck. Half the time. Evil Mossad would like to know, hey Pete, how do you read? Printed books, ebooks, listening to books, what is your library like? Yeah, I have some kind of weird reading disability, so I like to listen to audiobooks. Audible is preferred. I like podcasts. Been spending a lot more time in my own sort of bubble. Like now that I create content, I like listen to a lot of Risk TV, some of my own, some of other people's. This is the first time in my life I've become hyper specialized. I was a lot more interested in general topics for most of my adolescence and adult life, and now I'm becoming a lot more like extremely focused on one thing. But when you discover accidentally that you're more or less world class at something, why not lean into it and see how far you can take it, right? Okay. Sasky Rose would like to know, hey Pete, I'm wondering if you could tell us why, during progressive games, you most often advocate the strat of not taking bonuses, but some prog games you do take bonuses. Is the strat map specific, or do you just take bonuses if other players do? The strat is definitely map specific. It's also meta specific. So I think taking bonuses has gotten a lot better now. Because the good neighbor strat is now a lot more popular. So in a good neighbor environment or in a bonus heavy map environment, taking bonuses is better. The real question you want to ask yourself is, are your opponents going to be taking bonuses? If they are, then in order to keep parity with them, you need to be too. If they're not, then often it's the players who take the bonuses that get punished by other players who break. But it depends on what everyone does, which is kind of a Weasley answer, but it's the right answer I'm going to give you. Looks like I invoked a very decent argument in the chat about organized sports. I'm not getting mad at athletes. I think athletes are acting rational, right? I think it is the systems in play that prioritize. Are we still so early in this game? Oh, the set's only at 6. Yeah, the set's only at 6, and black's a bot, right? Yeah, so I have one exterior, and I'm going to take a card with it. Another thing I like to do, just to point out in these games, is I like to use my exterior for as long as possible to confuse people about where I might be. I often have a no bonus plan on these settings in just a strong cast man. So you see General Huge getting huge now. He's in 26 troops. So he probably holds Scandinavia, Iceland, England, right? And he's swooping out on the other side of the board. So the advantage for me is I'm not next to him really, except for up in Russia. You guys are talking about individual athletes. What I'm talking about is, let's say, okay, so a city is going to build an Olympic stadium or complex. A city uses tax dollars to do this, which means that I am paying for a stadium for games. This city that I live in also happens to have starving homeless people. Now, if I was living in a fair and just governed society, I would get to determine some of where my tax dollars would go to, correct? In as much as I would much rather them go to people not starving and freezing to death in the winter rather than a very fancy sports stadium. Thank you. Okay. JK would like to know, hey, Pete, since so many people are opposed to each other's beliefs, what are the steps we can take to accept the positions other people have and mitigate their wanton demand for domination? Humility and skepticism. Those are the steps. So by virtue of the fact that we have a artificial false dichotomy political system, and by virtue of the fact that social media is monetized by latent aggression and anger, through attention, addicting, and ad revenue, you end up with a hyper-polarized situation where people are not only opposed to each other's belief, but they have a religious fervor and confidence in their own. So the steps we can take to promulgate the opposite approach is humility and skepticism. So I am much lower confidence in any of my beliefs than almost anyone I meet. I'm hyper skeptical about everything all the time, and that's just in my nature. That's who I am. I'm a very skeptical man. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got a bot guard. I like it. Very skeptical man, but I'm also interested in understanding truth. So my model of truth is what is likely to make the most amount of sense. So I put much less faith in my beliefs and much more confidence in updating them as time goes by. So I'm basically taking a systems approach to it. People have wanton demand for domination. That's cultural. I think we could invite a much more mutualistic sharing type culture where the status of a person was not how rich they are, right? Can I shit on a golden toilet? But rather how much they give, perhaps, right? If the highest status person in society was the one who gave the most, then you have an inherent mechanism for rebalancing. GL Fleming III would like to know, have you ever played Dwarf Fortress? No. What's Dwarf Fortress? I gotta look it up. Dwarf Fortress, Spay 12 game. Oh man, this looks ridiculous. What the hell is this? The deepest, most intricate simulation of a world that has ever been created. Sure it is. That looks like a 8-bit graphics game. Sure it is. Is this where we start to snowball? We make some kills? Not yet. Not yet. All right. Rythetic would like to know, like you, I'm not a religious person. I'm 23, was raised Protestant Christian, and found myself almost converting to Catholicism when I was 22. But ultimately abandoned that religion altogether. It's only been about a year since then. I found myself studying different philosophies, mainly Buddhism, for about 2 months. I studied the various different beliefs, teachings that fall under the occult. It was intriguing for a time, but I got bored and concluded it wasn't for me. That's a lot of preamble. The question is, what does your spiritual, philosophical path look like? What have you studied over the years? So I was raised Jewish. I do not really I identify as kind of like a half Jewish person. My mom converted, so I think of myself as having a foot in the secular and a foot in the Jewish world, which is kind of lovely. I have empathy for both. On some level, I am proud to be a Jewish man. I think there is a lot of beauty in the tradition, but just like every other religion, there's a lot of darkness as well. I'll give you an example. I'm going to my aunt's on Sunday to celebrate Hanukkah, and a lot of what my family has kept alive in these traditions is like just core values, like love and family and support. And when I sit with my family and we joke around, it is there's no place I'd rather be, right? It's just the perfect place for me. So as a man who doesn't have kids, you see that move right there? See how magenta seems like they're going whole hog on that 4-stack? Could that be white's last position, I'm thinking? Yeah, I think family is very important. And it was really heartbreaking to not spend time with the people I loved for almost 2 years. I snagged the free kill on white. Now here's the part of the game you want to pay attention to. You see that 1 of black. So I know black's a bot. I know purple is strong. I just stole a kill from magenta, so magenta's probably weak. Now let's see how this plays out. First thing purple is going to do, right? Because purple has been in advantage all game. Purple's super strong. So my spiritual philosophical path is like, wow, this system of belief is obviously bullshit. So what's the good in it? And then what's the good in other systems of belief? And ultimately my conclusion is that all systems of belief are erroneous. I see him not hit the 1 of black. And given that all systems of belief are erroneous, it is up to me. It is incumbent upon me to figure out which system of belief I want to use. All right. So Blackbot is now a bot. He's hitting. This is how this game shakes out, right? You see what purple did. Is they're kill guarding black. So they popped off of their cap with a 12 stack, and there's a black territory here that I saw them not hit. So what we're going to see here is we're going to see magenta, who isn't super weak, still getting 23 a turn, make a fatal mistake. We see magenta making a lot of attacks. We're going to see them pop out of the top of Corellia. Yep, they're going for the kill on black. Magenta doesn't know that they're hiding behind purple's 12. But I do. Watch me break. And purple gives the well played, which is the last thing you want to do because purple is gloating. I steal your kill. Don't gloat, ladies and gentlemen. The emoting on these settings is adorable. People tell on themselves all the damn time. And now, what do you think we do? Now we go schmacky schmacky. Because because magenta just hit the bot really hard. So I'm getting a sense of how big the purple player is. And I'm just breaking everything. Try to equalize. Yeah. I hit purple hard. I like how this one ends too. What if God is the universe and it is a computer made out of energy? Does that make less sense than a dude up in the clouds with a white robe watching us poop? The personification of God as a man is adorably simplistic. My envision of that word, the way I use it, and I punched Purple so hard he quit. See, I punched him so hard he quit. He was just winning the whole game, and he had that kill guard set up. He was so happy, he just bots out. Hilarious, right? Just fucking bots out. I love how this one ends. Yeah, my personification of God is, or rather, my conception of God is not a personified one. I think of it as there is. The laws of physics are such that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transmuted. So you have the sum total of energy that has ever existed in all of time in the entire universe, and that is simply an equation. And then you look at that and you say, well, if the infinity were to want to understand itself, how would it go about doing that? And one of the things it couldn't understand is a limited perspective. So the infinity would look at breaking itself up into tiny shards of consciousness that we are in these limited forms where we are born and we age and we die. But that makes our lives so beautiful, right? That gives us the opportunity to experience love and to experience sorrow and to experience things that are meaningful to us. So if I was a powerful infinite being, truly infinite, and I wanted to understand subjectivity, that would be how you would go about doing it, right? Looks like this game is over. What have I studied over the years? So my education is in philosophy. I have a degree from University of Ontario, or University of Toronto, and York University. And my interest in religion is more historical. So I understand a lot. I understand a little about a lot, right? This is why I'm reasonably good at Jeopardy, because I have a breadth of knowledge. So comparative religion is a very interesting topic to me. And it looks like I get the kill on Magenta after we are in the 1v1. He sets in, gets the 50, but I will have the 55. And that is how this cookie crumbles. You see Magenta try to camp out on a cap. And I go, niche, niche, I kill you. I kill you dead, sir. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the format for this show. I was racking my brain to figure out how to incorporate the Q&A, how to do the weekly wrap-up without having playing a game of Risk take up my cognitive load. So I hope that playing back other games I've already played is interesting enough for you guys as the viewer. Hope you all enjoyed this show. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like. Ask questions for the Q&A in the Kill Pete Strategy Discord Q&A. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you found some of it fun and entertaining, maybe even a little bit educational and informative. If you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and come along the ride with me. I have a daily release on YouTube. I have a week daily release on Twitch for the winter. There are a couple ways you can support me. I have a Patreon. I have membership now live on my YouTube. And you can come on down to the Kill Pete Discord, get in on the Q&A, click the notifications for when I go live on Twitch. Catch the next stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And until next time, for all of you on the path to world domination, good games and good luck.